What? Hey, what's going on? It's Josh
Heather.
from the Molten Meeple. And tonight we're not going to be playing anything, but we are going to be doing our top 10 um, from 2019. So this is each of our top 10s. I'm sure we forgot something somewhere. And as you look at mine, you'll probably be like, oh crap, should have put that on there. But so we're gonna do that. We're gonna go over each of our first fives just kind of quickly, and
And open up my text.
yeah. Oh, so you remembered what it was?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the thing here so we can see anybody comes in and say hi to them. But yeah. So this is gonna be a little different for us. I got a bunch of stuff pulled up. Right there's yours if you need to, if you can read that. But so yeah, we're just gonna start with our top 10. 2019 was a really good year for us. It was our first time like covering a convention as media, and first time I got to go to Gen Con, and I worked a lot of the time, but it was still so much fun.
And even though I didn't get any of our videos edited, next year I intend to.
I actually have a
We just
video
had
edit,
a lot happen at once this year.
and
So.
I got an editor that I'm working with now, starting to do some stuff because Link wants to stream, so I'm setting up trying to get his videos going for YouTube for playing some games. But
You're all like lounging around there.
I got this chair that I've been using in here you look really tall now. Anyway, so let's get to it. So before we start, so I kind of cheated a little bit because it's hard to come up with just 10 games. And like I said, I know I still probably miss stuff too, but I have a few honorable mentions before we get to the top 10. They were real close, but there's so many good games.
And they'll be the same for me too.
So my first,
Are they the blue ones?
yeah,
Okay.
first honorable mention is Deadly Doodles from Steve Jackson Games. It's a flipping right, kind of rolling right, thing, and you're working your way through a little dungeon and drawing stuff, and it's really good and it's really fun. It's a little bit lighter, but like Link loves to play it with us. He doesn't always pick the greatest path to go through, but he loves to play it, and he does pretty good. He's actually beat us before, so
He gets better every time he plays it.
yeah, and he knows what he's going for now, and so he tries to hit, if you've ever played it, tries to hit the little weapons and hit the guys that go along with it, and it really helps him, with his critical thinking and stuff like that. But that was one of my honorable mentions. The other is The Walking Dead: Something to Fear from Skybound, Druid City, Derek and Lizzie. It's a really good kind of set collection card game. We played it a bunch after I got it at Gen Con. It's really really fun too.
It's another one the kids love too.
Yeah,
Autumn really likes that one.
and it plays more people, which is nice. You get more people in there, but and then the last one is Point Salad. I really like Point. If anybody ever asks, hey, there's Derek. Hey, what's going on? If anybody ever asks, like, hey, do you want to play Point Salad? I'm going to say yes, because it's quick, it's easy to teach, easy to play, and there's so much replayability because of the different cards you get. But those are my honorable mentions. Do you have any that you didn't have on there?
No, actually.
Other than those,
Those
you probably
those three,
will.
Those three
once
were
you
actually on my list, and they kind of like rotated around. And a top 10 list is way too little.
See. Yeah, Derek knows that. I don't think he's ever made an actual top 10 list with only 10 on it, which it's hard to do when you sit down and start looking at all the games. It's like, man, I don't know what to put.
Oh man, I forgot about that one.
That's what I see. I knew you'd be doing that once we got going. So we're gonna go over our 10 through 5 kind of quickly, and then we have some. We'll go a little more in depth into 5 to 1. So go. You want to go with your 10?
My top, what, 9 or 10 through?
No, just number 10.
No, number 10.
Yeah.
Empty Space.
Yeah, empty. Go. You say anything about it? Go.
Empty Space is one of the games that we did a preview for. Um,
That's just the cats trying to get in.
yeah, and I really liked the whole concept of it. The whole tile placement and
Trying to move your way
yeah,
up, and then
um, it was kind of different from anything else that we played this year. So, and the fact that it was a family made game and family produced game, and I think they did. I just the pictures on it. I love space. For someone that's as afraid of aliens as much as I am, I love space. But it was just a very, very well put together, good game that you could take to a family function and teach real easily.
All right, my number 10 is Sorcerer City from Skybound and Druid City. It's a tile drafting, tile placing kind of resource collection because of the way you do stuff. We just played it last week on our stream, but it was really, really fun, and we've only got to play it a few times, but it already jumped up into the top 10 because I just like, that's another one where it's like, you want to play Sorcerer City? Yeah, let's go play it again. Because you never know how the stuff is gonna unfold as you play, and it'll show up later. So number 9.
Number 9, Raccoon Tycoon. Artwork's big for me. Oh, the artwork on that is amazing. And again, it's a different mechanic with the whole auctioning and the set collecting kind of thing. Also, I like any game that we can introduce to new people and they really get into. And we have one of our friends that comes over. She claims she's not good at games, but she actually usually beats us.
We had some crazy
And
auctions.
Yeah, the auctions
that
on
night.
that it just made it so fun and made it to where we were laughing till we were crying. And again, it's a fun, beautiful game.
All right, that was another honorable mention of mine that I forgot to write down over there, but yeah, I like that game a lot too. My number 9 is Menace Among Us from Smirk and Dagger, and that we had a lot of fun with that game. Both playing it here, we played it a couple times on stream with our gaming group, and during our marathon, we played it
Oh,
with
God.
John and Ian. And I tell you, Ian got me.
killed it.
He got me. John at the beginning of it was like, Ian's the menace, and I'm like, and they kept going back and forth the whole time, but he played it off so well. Like, yeah, he got me.
So who else we have in here?
Ben
and
Anna,
Anna.
Anna Banana, Chris, and Ben. Thanks for coming out. But yeah, the cats are. Every time we come in here, we shut the door. We kind of don't really lock it, but we make it hard for them to get in, and they just beat the crap out of it. But yeah, Menace Among Us it's such a fun. If you like any kind of social deduction stuff like that, it's a little more in depth than some of the other ones, but it's still not too bad. But
And I'm not very good at that, but that one's
that one was
social
really fun.
deduction. I'm not really good at, but it's so fun. The characters. Oh God.
Is there oh my God! There's a full arm underneath the door. But all right, you go ahead to number 8.
Oh, number 8. Oh, I lost my phone.
It's right here.
Number 8, Cartographers. It's a good flip and write. I love this one. I like thinky, roll and writes, flip and writes, whatever you want to call it.
And it's one of the only ones I've played where it has a little bit of take that. You pull
little
you
bit.
pull a monster and you have to hand your pad to somebody else, and they
Yeah.
can put a monster on there, and then you have to worry about how to try to cover that up.
Unless you're like me and you feel bad about doing that.
Not me. I put them right in the middle of
That
everything.
that post of that game that Lizzie and Derek are featuring right now, and somebody's like, "You lost me at co-op." I'm a big co-op person.
I like co-op too, but I also like
No,
screwing somebody over with
I think you
with
much
the
rather.
monsters. But all right, so my number 8's Medium. I don't think we ever played that here. That's one that would be kind of hard, but I had a lot of fun.
We did the 24-hour.
Yeah, we did a 24-hour with John and Ian and a bunch of people there. I think we had like 8 or so.
Jake and John and Ian and Mike.
Yeah, and that other guy from.
Oh gosh, and he's so nice, and I always forget. I will learn your name.
Anyway,
Eventually.
we've had some good games with that. I had
Chris.
real good time at Gen Con playing that with AJ and Mike and a couple other
Brent.
fellas. No, Brent was down there playing something else, but yeah, it's fun. It's another different kind of like social. I don't know. I don't know. It's fun. I like it. 7.
7. Fantastic Factories. And this one I have to thank Board Game Spotlight because I did win the pledge from that. And I love dice games. And the whole building and it's another unique mechanic that came out this year to me. So
And it's got
it's got a
little
lot of
engine
dice
building.
in it.
You like engine building too.
I do like engine building, and
And
it's got a lot of engine building in it.
my number 7 is Dead Man's Cabal from Pandasaurus, and this is another one that we play tested, and geez, they're really going at it out there. But we play tested it, and we play tested it a bunch because we had a lot of fun playing it. And we got the game in, and the components are awesome. The little skulls and the bones are great, and it's a really really good game.
And that's the one that I forgot about. Oh, and the one after that. Oh my gosh.
I knew you would miss that one.
Yeah.
So go ahead, you're 6.
My 6, Call to Adventure.
We'll talk
Both.
more about that later.
Yeah, both of them.
We'll talk about that later, so we'll just go on to mine. Number 6 is Tricky Tides,
Oh, I love Tricky Tides.
and it's a trick-taking, pick-up and deliver game. So, I mean, it's another one we played on our stream. You take tricks, and depending on what you do, it allows you to move different ways.
Sea monsters.
There's sea monsters, and it's just a really good game. Really neat artwork, and I can't wait for their next game from Gold Seal.
Oh, yeah.
Kohaku.
I went all in on that one.
Yeah, we backed that, and we're ready for that. But
It's my second pledge ever.
yeah, Tricky Tides is if you like card playing games, trick takers like euchre or something like that. It has that element, but then it also takes it a little bit farther, and you get to move your little ship around and pick up different resources and try to deliver them and get points. So another, yep, look at that.
Oh my gosh, that's Nico.
His arm is so far underneath there. All right, so now we're going to get into our top 5, and we're going to talk about these a little bit more in depth, even though those 5 weren't very quick. We kind of talked about them too, but so your number 5,
My number 5 is Wayfinders.
and this is another one from Pandasaurus Games.
This one we play tested the heck out of it too, and it was one of those ones where it was a completely different concept. Like, what do I want to say? The design concept was different, and then when we got it, we were really pleasantly. I can't
Pleasantly
even talk.
surprised.
Yes, with the artwork and the way that they changed like the meeples and stuff in it, and it's just a really fun game.
So you can see the some of the tiles here on the board. I don't know why I'm pointing. You can't see me anymore. But you can see some of the tiles there, and along the right side is just kind of your spot to whoever, puts their, what is it called? Airstrip down.
Yes.
And then along the bottom has the price that it costs to put an airstrip down there, and then you have different victory points and stuff in the top left that you can do. But
And again, it's like a completely different mechanic, and I love it. And it's easy to teach. We've played it with all the kids, all the older kids. Link could probably help one of us, but
this is the resource board here, and this is another thing that's kind of neat about it is you place your workers down there, and you can see the resources up on the top. And then when you pull your workers off the board, that's when you actually take the resources. And no matter what order you're in, you always take from the top. So you can sneak in behind somebody that's got like 2 workers in a place. You can sneak one worker in and pull yours up before them and take something that they were trying to get. So that, again, that's another little bit of take that, not really, but here's a whole big overview of like the board area and all the stuff. But yeah, it's a beautiful game, bright, and it's another one that's quick.
yes,
About 20 minutes.
about 20 minutes.
And
At 4 players even. So
20 minutes to a half hour, and it's got enough depth to to kind of hold you in.
You're like getting there, and then all of a sudden somebody's out, and it's like, oh my god, the game's over. Why did you do that?
So the next one we're going to go to is actually my number 5 and your number 4, so we can both talk about it together. And let me make sure I have the right picture up, which I don't. And it is Fleet the Dice Game.
Dicey Waters.
This is probably my favorite roll and write.
Yeah.
Cartographers, as far as the flip and write and Welcome to, are both really close, but Fleet just has so much meat to it.
Fish to it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's, as you can see here, there are 2 different boards, papers that you're writing on. So, there are 2 different phases. So, in the first phase, you're over on the left here, and that's when you're fishing. You're trying to get fishing licenses, and you're trying to, launch some more boats and get stuff ready to go. And then the second side, which is over on the right, is the harbor phase, and on that side you can do some like extra special fishing for like king crabs, or you can start doing these buildings down here which give you bonuses. And there's just so much like meat to the game, and it plays really good solo. I've taken it to work and played solo. And then you also get this cool freaking dice tower with it.
Oh no, I bought that extra.
Was it extra?
I think
Well, you
so.
can get the dice tower. It's on their website. I when I went there to get these pictures earlier, this was from there, and you can buy the dice tower. But buy the dice tower. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't take that to work with me when I played, but it's a neat little dice tower, and it adds more to the thing. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite roll and write. I think. I say I think after I said definitely, but
And it's the last roll and write of my
so that'd be your
Yeah,
top roll
so
and write, at
yes.
least from this year.
from this year.
All right, so then that's my 5, your 4. So we'll go to my 4, which is Call to Adventure, which was your 6. So yeah, Call to Adventure is it speaks to me. This is one of the only games, because I am pretty competitive when we play stuff. I don't even let the kids win.
You don't.
But this is one of the games where I don't care if I win. I am sitting there trying to make my story. If there's a story piece out on the board that will make my story better, even though it doesn't give me that many points, I'm going to try to do that, and I'm going to try to get it to make my story cooler. Because, let me bring up this other one first. This kind of shows you how you're building your story. So on the left, you have your origin. In the middle is your motivation. And then on the right is your destiny. Normally, your destiny would be covered up. And then you can see these cards that are above it, below it, and you just kind of get those through the game and build your story. And the way you get them is cool. You toss these runes. I don't know whose hand that is. It was on their website, so. But you get to toss runes. So I mean, you still have the dice throw. Oh yeah, I didn't fade it. You still have that kind of feeling of tossing dice, but you're throwing these runes, and it's, I don't know. Tossing runes was really
Oh yeah, it's great.
fun too. But yeah, and then of course they did the King Killer Chronicles Name of the Wind expansion, which I love. So that was just icing on the cake for me. So we'll go to your number 3. We're already to 3. And it is
Yes, Sorcerer City.
Sorcerer City. So we already kind of talked about it, but you can go ahead and go over it a little more.
I had no idea what this was about. I mean, I knew it was something he backed, and I knew he'd just been waiting for it for a long time. But I had no idea what it was until he sat it down in front of me and showed me, because they didn't. I don't think they had this at Origins, but they did have it at Gen Con.
Yeah, they hit that.
So he had gotten to play. I mean, he had, like I said, he knew what it was about. But
Yeah, I got to play it 2 or 3 times at Gen Con, and I really, really liked it.
One of my favorite games first getting into this was Carcassonne. I like tile placing and I like the puzzle aspect to it. So this whole puzzle place, the tile
It's
placing
it's
thing, it's
it's
great.
Carcassonne in 2 minutes.
It is. And that's the only thing that kind of gets me down is because I get a little anxious with the whole timer thing, but I really liked it. I really can't wait to play it again. I actually had a dream the other night where I woke up and I'm like, I'm going to play Sorcerer's City.
Well, it's funny too because like your first two rounds, you're like, man, 2 minutes seems like a lot of time.
Yeah.
You get done and you're like, all right, there's
That last round, then,
30
though.
seconds left. And then the last round, I've still got like 5 tiles in my hand, and the buzzer went off, and I'm like, oh crap. But yeah, here's a kind of a layout. You can see the tiles there and how they line up, and the shields are what score you your points. So having the different shields and different configurations, you can go back and watch our video on it and kind of go through it and explain it all. But there's a little bit of drafting from the board up top, and then your resource management of laying your tiles down to try to get your best resources to be able to draft more or to be able to get more points. But yeah, it's really fun. It's another one that we've just gotten the last couple weeks, but it jumped up there real quick. Made it on both of our lists. Only having it for a couple weeks, and I don't think it's just because it's new and we're like, it's great. It's just it's a really really good game, and the coins are fantastic.
And we haven't gotten to get it out with the kids yet, and I think that they'll enjoy it too. So, and the coins are fantastic. You hit it out of the park there, James.
All right, my number three, and from here on out for me, my top 3 or 4 because I might have more than one number one, but they're all very very close.
Yeah, mine too.
But number 3 is Shobu, and I love Shobu. It's so much depth in that little package, and just 4 little wooden squares and a bunch of rocks and a rope that nobody knows what it does, but there's so much depth, and it gets so thinky sitting there trying to figure out your moves. And if you like chess or anything like that at all, you're gonna really like this.
It was on my list too, but it kind of would be bumped up to like 11 or 12.
And this picture here, one of the other reasons why I like it so much is it's small, has a small footprint. This is from the back of our old car at the drive-in. We pulled it out, and me and my daughter played a couple games while we were waiting for the movies to start. So, I mean, you probably are not going to take it to dinner and throw it on the dinner table, but it does have a small footprint. It is something that it's another one of the ones that's really easy to teach. There's not a whole lot of rules, but once you start playing, there's a lot of strategy to this. So that is my number 3, Shobu from Smirk and Dagger. I forgot to say Call to Adventures from Brotherwise, of course Sorcerer Cities from Druid City and Skybound. We said that. Fleet the Dice Games from Eagle Griffin Games, and we told the other ones. So if you want to look for any of these, I think they're all for sale except for Sorcerer City. That's why I put on the event the top 10 of 2019-ish. I think the actual
It's January.
January 8th
I think so.
for Sorcerer City is the actual retail day or retail date, but it's close enough. So we'll go to your number 2.
This was hard. I'm not gonna lie, because this probably would have been my number 1, and it's not because of the hype.
Until the last month.
Yep. But Wingspan, definitely. Again, artwork's amazing. It's an engine builder. The eggs. I mean, do I need to say any more? It's just...
Look how pretty. They look like little candies.
And I love how it's a very educational game, too. I mean, honestly, the cards have so much information on them pertaining to the birds and stuff. And the different the different goals and stuff makes it a different game every time you play it.
Here's everything in the freaking box too. There's a lot of stuff there.
Elizabeth Hargrove did an amazing
Hargrave,
sorry, did an amazing job with this. And as a little side note, I wasn't thinking of the games that are in my purse, but her Tussie Mussy too. I've been carrying it in my purse, and I keep forgetting it's in there. But
That's fun too. Yeah.
It's a fun little game that you can take with you. So I'll just hang that on as like a little Wingspan expansion.
But you can see all the. I mean, there's another cool dice tower in this one that actually comes with this one. Lots of cards, tons of cards.
And speaking of the expansion, we do have the expansion. We have not been able to get it to the table yet.
Yeah, we've had so much stuff going on with some of the stuff you're going to see coming up in a minute. But so that's your number 2 is Wingspan. And my number 2, and this was I think any other year ever, this would probably be number 1. One of their other games last year was my favorite game of the year, my number 1 of the year. And yeah, it's Paladins of the West Kingdom. And yeah, any other year this would have been number 1.
And I like Paladins too. It's just there's so much going on for me. I feel like I get lost.
That's why I like it so much. Not that you get lost.
No, I mean not lost just... like I don't know what I'm doing, but lost and focusing on one thing and then forgetting.
Yeah, I mean you gotta. I always, I'll get something that I want to work towards, and I'm like, all right, we have these goals up here. I'm gonna work towards that. But then you realize, well, I have to do this before I do that. And then I have to do this before I do that. There's just so many. It's you can't just like run in a straight line and you're gonna win. You have to go all over. And it is pretty cool that through most of the game, you don't have to worry about somebody blocking your stuff that you're trying to go to. As you can see here, you got your own board. And you're mostly working off your own board. Somebody might steal one of the cards you want, or later on in the game they might take something that you're trying to get off of the middle. But you're working off your own board, and yeah, it's so much fun. My only complaint about the whole thing is, if you see here, this is the whole setup. It is kind of a table hog. The track and the stuff out in the middle is, I mean, you need a pretty good sized table to get that out there. You can pull it down beside it and rearrange some stuff to make it work.
But even with the 2 big tables that we had at our 24, it was still all over the place.
Well, on our table, we have to put the leaf in our kitchen table if we're going to play.
And we still don't have. I mean, the artwork though. I mean,
yeah, I love the Miko.
You can't say anything bad about the Miko, and Shim's games
you could,
are
but
amazing.
I'd punch you in the face. Oh. No, I'm just.
You punch me where my flu
not
shot
you. Is. I'm just. I'm talking about them. But yeah, so that's our. My number 2.
Go to your first or your second number 1.
No, that's final. So both of our number 1s, and my number one. But both of our number 1s, and this jumped up really quick, and we've played it a few times, and I've played it an extra time to get the tutorial to learn how to play it. But it is Tainted Grail from Awakened Realms. I guess I did forget to say Paladins. Wingspans from Stonemaier Games. You can start to find it out now. And Paladins of the West Kingdom from Garphill, and I think Renegade might be distributing it over here. But Tainted Grail from Awakened Realms, this is something that it's probably not going to be able to buy if you didn't get it on the Kickstarter for a while. And a lot of the content that I actually got, we're not going to get till next year, but man.
This kind of, I'm sorry, Isaac, kind of kicked yeah. Gloomhaven.
You even forgot the name. That's how bad it was.
No. I mean, anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Arthurian legend fan.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
I'm just kidding, because you said anybody who knows me.
Gaelic lore. I mean, and this just, oh my goodness. I love it. The battle mechanics is a little hard to grasp at first, but once you get it, it clicks, and it just flows. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork. The minis are amazing.
I mean, look at that. That's the base game box. 4 characters.
If you see that book up there in the corner,
there's over 1,000 over 1,000 or over 100,000 words of lore.
And the way that the whole story unfolds and the way it's laid out and everything is just it's just amazing. We've gone through 2 chapters.
Yeah,
Oh no, we
no,
didn't finish.
we're
We
not
didn't
even through
finish.
2 yet.
And well, we kind of had to step back because we almost died. I mean, and that's not because it's a bad game. It's just because it's
But yeah,
that
look at that.
thinky. I mean, it is so
And that's
gorgeous.
how all the art looks. And it's so like I don't know, if you like any kind of story driven game, there's a lot of story. It's not just all story where you're sitting there making, choose your own adventure. I mean, there is kind of a choose your own adventure part as you're going through exploring
Mm-hmm.
certain stuff. But man, when you hit certain battles or certain diplomacy missions, it's really cool. I watched a bunch of videos and I did the tutorial, so I had a little bit more grasp on the battle and stuff when we started. But everybody now, after a couple plays, is starting to pick it up a little more and a little more. And it's a real unique way of going about trying to take down some of these beasts and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's can't say much more. It's our number one game of the year, and Gloomhaven for me is my number one game overall still.
I mean, and I like Gloomhaven too, but it's just,
But this is close.
I mean, it goes so you feel the characters.
I mean, right now, Gloomhaven, Tainted Grail, Too Many Bones are all right in like. If I could have three number ones, I mean, I have two number ones this time, but yeah, it's there already, and we're like I said, we're just a couple missions in. There's supposed to be around 40 hours worth in the base box here. I did back it for like all in on the story elements, so we have like hundreds of more hours and more characters and different timelines, and
Ooh.
so yeah, I can't wait for all that stuff too. But I can't wait to go play it again. We're playing this with our gaming group that comes over every Tuesday, and they're coming over tomorrow, and I can't wait so that we can play it again and pick up where we were. It has a really cool like quick save mechanic where can write down everything where you're at, and then you can just pull it back out and start right there and move on. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. Fantastic minis. Can't wait till Jason paints them for me. I have to get those sent to him though. But yeah, so that's our number one, and then I have a surprise special, another number one, um,
Look at that.
and you had to know that it was going to be here if you
Mm-hmm.
know me at all, and that's Cloudspire. Cloudspire is Heather doesn't like the tower defense and the stuff as much.
It's just not my thing, but it's not that it's not a good game.
Yeah,
It's just not my
but
mechanic.
for me, I love tower defense, and I love chip theory games, and I love playing with all the poker chips, and just the way that they've crafted this game. There's so much. It also has a really good story if you play through the solo scenarios. There's like a whole big storyline. You get to go through all the factions, and um, plus the 2v2. I think it's another Shobu was one of my top two player games. But Cloudspire is probably my number one 2 player game. Playing 1v1 is just, I know I said 2v2 a minute ago. I meant 2 players. But playing 1v1 in this thing, and you can see here, this was a picture. This was a picture at Origins, kind of a preview. When we first saw it, I had already backed it by then. I had already went all in on it by then. But yeah, you can see it's kind of a table hog too. But what chip theory game isn't, other than game to pick a game. But that's why we love them. But yeah, the mats are all neoprene. The art on it's great. Um, the production quality is just fantastic. And as you can see here, it's a little heavier. So this isn't one that we get to play with the family. But Link does like to come in and roll the event die for me when I'm playing solo, and see what's going on, and you can see all there was some bad stuff going on there, and it's not. Another thing, if you know chip theory games, it's not an easy game.
No, it's not.
Especially the solo. I think it took me 4 times to beat the first scenario, but that was also when I first started playing it. So you're learning, how different mechanics work and stuff. And once you start to get the hang of it, it starts getting a little easier, and then they make everything a little bit harder. But it's such a fantastic game. The people at Chip Theory are awesome. The game's awesome. Um, I was glad that I got to pick it up at Gen Con and bring it home early and play it right away. It's it's heavy. It weighs as much as Link probably, but man, it's such a good game. But yeah, so I couldn't pick a number one between Cloudspire and Tainted Grail. So they're co number ones. They're co champions like back in the old BCS days. But yeah, that's our top 10. And I was gonna go. Let me see if I can go somewhere else here. I posted a what do you call those things? Poll. I posted a poll in our Facebook group like a week or so ago, asking what everybody's top 10 was and seeing what we got votes. And I said I was going to announce that, and I forgot. So I will pull it up now. Oh yeah, I forgot to flip that over. I'm using the different thing on our software we use to stream, and it makes it a lot easier if you remember to do stuff. So if we go back to our poll, oh yeah, I can't make fun of you anymore, Derek, because it is hard when you're sitting down and you're like, all right, we're gonna do a show, and I'm gonna pick a top 10, and you're like, I can't do it. I can't do it. My top 10 was 14 long, and probably 15, about 16 long after I added some of yours in.
The only reason mine is you came in and said, I need a top 10. And I'm like, okay.
I gave you like 5 or 6 hours.
No, I'd never got it, though.
I was going to tell you before.
I had
Today,
doctor's
but I
appointments
forgot.
and stuff. I got my flu shot too. My arm is killing me.
But anyway, so on our poll, Paladins of the West Kingdom was the number one game for the aggregate, with Tainted Grail at number 2 and Wingspan at number 3, Shobu, Cartographers. So yeah, and then Fantastic Factories. Tapestry was in there. I like Tapestry, but it's a game that I'll play. Like if somebody says, "Hey, let's play Tapestry," I'll play it. But it didn't make it into my top Stonemaier games.
Oh, Ishtar.
Yeah. We didn't play that. Oh, you played that, didn't you?
I did.
I didn't get to play that.
No, actually, I don't think I did either. I
Or you watched
Ian
it
and
play it.
John play it. At that time, I don't think I could keep my eyes open.
And there's some more games on here like Atlantis Rising from Elf Creek and Marvel Champions, which I really want to play. I just haven't got a chance to play yet. So those are something that I'd like to do another one of these in a few months. That way we can maybe hit some more of the games we didn't get a chance to play that came out kind of close to the end of the year. And then we can also see if everything is still, lining up where it was here, which it probably won't because it was hard enough to make that list. But yeah, that was our top 10 of 2019. I doubt that we'll be here next Tuesday. Is Tuesday Christmas Eve?
Tuesday's Christmas Eve, so we will not be
Yeah,
here.
we're not going to be here
But
Christmas
it's not
Eve.
Tuesday either. It's Monday.
Oh, it's Monday. Well, we won't be here because Tuesday's Christmas Eve. But yeah, so we'll see you guys probably the week after. I have to work. We'll probably be the week after, right before Christmas or New Year's. We can play something then.
Yeah.
Something light. I thought about playing Sorcerer City again tonight just to to play it on stream. Like, I know we streamed this last week, but you wanted your revenge. But yeah, so thanks for coming out and watching us. Let us know on the page or in the comments whether you agree or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't really disagree. You could say, hey, this should have been up there too, but those are some good freaking games.
Oh, yeah. Like I said in the post I put on my page, last year was a great year to be gaming, honestly.
And hopefully it just gets better.
Yes.
I've already got the hotel booked for Origins, so I think when did I say we were staying? Are we staying Wednesday through?
I thought we were just doing the whole week.
That's what I said, Wednesday through Saturday.
We're just doing Monday through...
No, we're not doing Monday.
Oh, dang it.
I don't have that many freaking vacation days.
What?
I have Thursday, Friday, and Monday.
Oh, that's right.
So that's why I said. Anyway,
Anyways,
you guys don't need to know about that.
who gets their stupid vacation in July instead of January?
It's dumb. Who also stops getting vacation or extra vacation? I'm done. I'm done for like if I stay there for the rest of my life. I don't get any more.
I get 4 weeks.
Oh,
Finally.
I get 4 weeks too, but I
15
don't ever get any
years.
more. Anyway, thanks for coming out tonight, and I'm gonna throw this back up here real quick just because it's pretty.
Ooh.
Tainted Grail. It is such a good game. If you haven't had a chance to play it, find somebody who has it.
Watch
Play
a
it.
stream.
Watch.
Something. Well, don't watch the stream.
Yeah, don't watch the stream.
We'll spoil the
You
story.
don't want spoilers, but it is such a good game. But yeah, thanks for coming out tonight. Again, like normal, we're terrible at actually quitting, talking. We should sometimes just be like, "Hey, we're done," and then just click off. But thanks for coming.
Peace out.
Peace out.
See ya.
See ya.